ladies and gentlemen, ladies. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you decide to watch this. It is your boy, Andrew, and we are back with another episode of the Aflikshun here covering the XFL. Now, I'm back from a rejuiced, happy little getaway for my anniversary with my fiance. So now we're back to work covering the XFL. Was in Orlando. Thought about hitting a Guardians game. Had other plans. Again, celebrating the anniversary. So was definitely not going to change plans or mess up a weekend that we already had planned. But getting on. Let's review week one of some amazing games. First off, we got the Vegas Vipers playing the Arlington Renegades. And boy, was this an even matchup. We had Perez and Plitt. We had Perez for the Vegas Vipers and Plitt leading the Arlington Renegades. And the Arlington Renegades came out on top 22-20. And down the stat board, just an evenly matched game with total yards being 261 for the Vipers and 246 for the Arlington Renegades. Not much of a difference there, but rushing and receiving yards, they were damn near even as well. No, I'll take that back. I take it back. The receiving on the Vipers side was pretty far. They went 22 for 36 attempts. Perez did. He had a total of 236 yards. So not too bad for a debut. I have an eyelash. I don't know. But it's bothering my eye. Anywho, Perez went, like I said, 22-36 for 236. He had 3 passing touchdowns. And, for a debut, week 1 of XFL for passing, that's phenomenal. That's great. That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. That's what you want to see out of a debut for your quarterback. So Perez is looking pretty hot. Defense, close game, evenly matched up. Came up short to the Arlington Renegades, who was led by Plitt, who only went 19 for 25 with 163 yards. But they rushed 31 times for 83 yards as well. Whereas Vipers only rushed 15 for 25 yards total. So it looks like that Arlington Renegades rush defense is looking pretty stacked. But we'll see how that continues throughout the season. First downs, even. 13, right across the board. Favorite number, by the way. 13. Three rushing first downs for the Renegades and also a penalty first down. Again, evenly matched. Arlington Renegades came out on top, 22-20. That puts the Renegades at 1-0 and the Vegas Vipers at 0-1. But again, close fought game, so it doesn't mean much for the Vipers. It something may have slipped up during the game. Who knows? It happens. It's week 1. Everybody's getting their jitters out. Now it's time for week 2. All right. Next game of the day we had was Universal Orlando Guardians playing the Houston Roughnecks. And boy, did Houston rough up them Guardians' necks. 33-13. Excuse me, 12. And that was supposed to be my team. I thought I was picking Guardians, but I guess I made that hiccup yet again. But here we are. Gotta stay true. Again, like I just stated, it's week 1. So things may shape up in week 2 for the Guardians, but we'll see. But let's review week 1 for both. So total yards, not too shabby. Orlando had 314. Houston had 337. Not too far off. What the issue was is Orlando just could not find the end zone. That bitch was where's Waldo and couldn't find it. They got backpack from Dora the Explorer and he couldn't help with maps. It it just didn't work for Orlando in the end zone. It was a harsh relationship this weekend. We'll see what happens next week. It amazed me to see how equivalent this game was kind of matched up with stats down the board, but the score didn't show. You know, like it's crazy to see a game of, you know, you have 236 passing yards on Orlando's sides from Dormady and Lynch combined. And then you have Silvers, who had his own 256 passing yards. So, even with the rushing, 16 attempts for 78 yards for Orlando and 20 attempts for 81 yards for Houston. It's just Orlando couldn't find the end zone. They had every tool in their pocket. Nothing worked this week. So week 1, bit rough. We'll see how week 2 turns out for the Guardians. As for the Houston Roughnecks, they seem to be roughing and they seem to be getting those necks. So these teams need to be prepared. I'm telling you, it's going to be wild. Week 2 is going to shape up. But again, week 1, jitters are out. Next week, we'll see what happens with Orlando. Next game we had on Sunday. Sunday. Still got football on Sundays. First game, and I say this is probably the wildest start to any season, I think, in my opinion, that I've really paid attention to be honest with you. But the craziest game, especially with all the new rules, everything was applied in this game, and that's what made this exciting. You had NFL players tweeting out saying how exciting the XFL is looking. But let's dive into it. So we have the St. Louis Battlehawks against the San Antonio Brahmas, and man, this game was lights. And I'm talking shining bright like a diamond. Shouts out Rihanna from the Super Bowl. Woohoo! Anywho, we had A.J. McCarron balling out. He didn't do crazy much, but boy, that second half was something out of a book that no one's ever read before for AR points. Anywho, you know, total yards complete on each side, 235 for the Battlehawks and 324 for the Brahmas. Big difference there. We'll get down to the passing yards. A.J. McCarron went 18 for 26 with 167 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Key, but 2 came key in the end of the game. And Cohen went 25 for 36, 191 yards with 1 passing touchdown. But here's the exciting part. Everything was put into this game. St. Louis was down with 2 minutes left, less than 2 minutes left in the game. They score on a passing play. That what is it? It puts them up 6 to, I think it was like 6 to 15. They go for 3 points. Okay? 3 points. The first 3-point attempt this year, history at all. They succeed. Now we're up 15-9. San Antonio Brahmas still up. Guess what the Battlehawks do? They pull the card out of the rule book and go for it on 4th and 15 on their own 25 and get it. They get it. They succeed and drive down the field, like I said, less than 2 minutes to go, and score again. And they come out on top 18 to 15. Yeah, because they went for another 3-pointer for whatever reason. So there you have it, folks. The rules go into play in the first week of XFL. It's exciting. You need to be there to watch. It gets you on your toes. It gets you on your feet. It gets you on the edge of your seat, waiting to see what happens next. So you got to be there. Tune in next week, and we'll go over the games that are coming up this week. So that was the St. Louis Battlehawks and San Antonio Brahmas. The last game of the weekend, the one I was looking really forward to, just to see a particular player, Josh Gordon, come out and ball. So last game, Sunday night, we had Seattle Sea Dragons playing the DC Defenders. And first off, I don't know what is in the drinks in DC, but their crowd is on fire. It's going to be tough to play in that stadium here soon because that crowd looked like they were all the way involved. Like you were hearing them. They were getting involved with the refs. They were getting involved. You could just hear them through the TV. It was insane. Mad. I couldn't believe it. So it's great to see people already fully involved with the XFL again. Great to see it kicking in full swing. But let's get down into the game. So with the Seattle Sea Dragons, which this difference is insane. So total yards, as we've been starting off with, 331 for Seattle Sea Dragons, whereas you have 177 for the DC Defenders. Crazy. We'll go down. So they're passing. They had Danucci and Montez. They both went 36 for 56 with 280 yards. Not bad. A lot of attempts. I feel like that could have been more yards out of the attempts and yardage. I don't know. Maybe that's just me personally. But I feel like for 36 attempts, I don't know. That could have been more than, especially between two quarterbacks. I don't know. We've seen more yardage out of less attempts in previous games already by single quarterbacks. So that's insane to me. DC could get anything involved in the air, apparently. 9 for 90, or 9. Can't speak, apparently. Alright, so they went 9 attempts, or this is why we do it raw, so you can hear me stutter and mutter and can't figure out where my fucking words are. Anywho, they succeeded 9 passes out of 21 attempts for only 93 yards. Insanity. They got to figure it out in the air, apparently. Couldn't get nothing done. And that just means Seattle's defense on the air could be something to mess with. Watch out for that secondary of these teams coming up. But that between De'Aaron King and Teemu, something's got to get figured out. However, they figured it out on their feet with both of them scoring a rushing touchdown. So that's awesome. That's something to look out for. I mean, mobile quarterbacks are everywhere nowadays. So you got to look out for that. It's great. God, I hope I'm recording the sound because I just looked and I can't see. Okay, so it is on. Raw. Anywho, raw. I think that's gonna be my catchphrase. Just so you remember that this video is raw. You know, raw. Anywho, so that score came down to 22-18. DC Defenders walking away with the W. I want to highlight, because like I said, I've been looking forward to this player playing. Josh Gordon, 6 for 74 yards. Excuse me. 6 attempts for 74 yards. And then 1 scoring touchdown. So hell yeah. 1 scoring touchdown on his part. And he's already finding the end zone. So that's week 1. Exciting stuff. Exciting to see. Like I said, exciting to see in the St. Louis Battlehawks and San Antonio Brahmas game. The new rules already bust into effect without a skip in the beat. Exciting to see those be played out more. See how many more teams risk it a lot more like the St. Louis Battlehawks did, especially with A.J. McCarron. Crazy stuff, man. That just means they believe in their quarterback, and that's what you need in a league. And again, it's great to see these players back, having another chance to really get their feet in the league. NFL's watching, XFL's playing. You know, big plans could be ahead for anybody else playing in the league. They could find somewhere new. You know, NFL could see something in them. Josh Gordon could come back in the league. Who knows? We'll see. The first season of XFL is in full swing, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Damn, I'm gonna change my shirt because I got a little stain here. Oh well. We just went full swing ahead. I got my stuff, my info and stuff, and I was like, send it. I know what I want to do. So moving on, we do have an announcement. This so we have a destination for the XFL championship game that'll happen at the end of the season, down to the two strongest teams of the XFL in year one, I guess you could say. Again, for like the first and half or second half time, I don't know, but we will play. We will see it in San Antonio. We will see it in San Antonio, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, I got something outside and it just cross-played me. But anywho, San Antonio will hold the inaugural championship game for year one for the XFL. So exciting stuff. The Rock made a statement on it. Basically, to sum it up, just it holds homage to him, and they know they'll do it big. So that's exciting to see. Can't wait for them to finish. I just can't wait for the championship game. It's going to be exciting. I mean, I know we're only in week one, but we've already had exciting stuff happen. So, I mean, watch the championship game happen, and then, like, they have 2 or 3 attempts going for it on 4th and 15. One gets a pick six, the other makes it, but goes down and scores, and then attempts to do a 2-point, but that doesn't convert. Just so much exciting stuff can happen, and it's going to be all broadcasted and into the game, and who knows what's going to be imported to imported into the NFL. It's all exciting. So moving on, now we'll have week 2 games. Week 2 coming up, exciting. We have our first Thursday night game. So Thursday night, we'll get to see Josh Gordon back in action, along with AJ McCarron back in action. It's going to be a tough battle because, again, Seattle Sea Dragons, they weren't too far off on their loss this past week, but they'll get it going, and I think this is going to be a game to watch, and it's going to be broadcasted on FX at 6:00, so you got to be there. It's Pacific time, so Eastern it'll be 7. So just plan for 7, not 6, but 6 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and hopefully maybe Battlehawks are going to be risking it all again this week and pulling off all these tricks out of their sleeves and getting these 3-point conversions and these 4th and 15s and whatnot. Then we got one game Saturday. We got your DC Defenders and your Vegas Vipers, which again, the Vegas Vipers weren't too far off. I mean, they put the stats. The stats were there. The score was close. DC came back late. I don't know how that's going to work for them against the Vegas Vipers. So we'll see what happens this week on Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on FX as well. Exciting stuff. I can't wait to see Derek back in play. Let's see if we can get more passing out of the DC Defenders, though. That'll be exciting to see. Sunday, we have 2 games. We got the San Antonio Brahmas with the coming up short, blowing a lead to the St. Louis Battlehawks, but nothing to fear. I think Hines Ward can get it together, get his team rallied back, and pull off a victory here in week 2. Go 1-1, or the Guardians might get it together. Got those jitters out of first week with their big loss against the Houston Roughnecks, and pull out a dub this week for them. We'll fingers crossed here. That's supposed to be my team, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's year 1. Anything can happen. I could change teams. It doesn't matter because no one's a committed fan yet. I can't say that for them DC Defender fans. That's a crowd to look out for if you're a player. I'll tell you that. It's probably loud in that stadium. But So let's look out for that one. That one's going to be a good game. Two teams hungry for their first win, obviously. Battling it out. One with a close loss, one that got blown out. Who's hungrier? Who wants it more? It's week 2. Then the last game of the week, we got Arlington Renegades playing Houston Roughnecks. This is going to be one of the games to watch, with Arlington coming out on top with the Vegas Vipers on a tough, close, battled game with stats across the board that you could put an equal sign in between each against the Vegas Vipers. Another tough team, like we just stated. But it's going to be crazy, going to be loud, especially with them Roughnecks, and it's in Houston. Good Lord. I'm sure this is going to be the game to watch, especially after the blowout they had against Orlando Guardians last week. You might have to expect some big things out of Houston Roughnecks already with the lead that they have, but you'll have to see how they perform against Arlington Renegades. If they can pull out a big lead against Arlington Renegades and pull out a big dub on them, they might be the team to watch, because so far so good. And I mean, they got a man you could already call, or Arlington Renegades though already have a man on there. People are trying to call Derrick Henry of the XFL. I don't know about all that. I'll be able to watch this week since I'll be in town and at a TV that I can conveniently watch the XFL with no buffering. That was one thing this weekend with our hotel, is the Wi-Fi sucked. If you are planning to make a trip, do not use Hotwire to stay at Westgate Vacation Villas. They don't vacuum their floors, and you get roomed with people who use it's just crazy. I don't recommend it. But back to the XFL. That's week 2. The San Antonio and Orlando game will be on ESPN at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then the Arlington Renegades and Houston Roughnecks will be on 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2. The San Antonio one and Orlando's on ESPN at 4 p.m. Eastern, and Arlington Renegades is at 6 p.m. Central Time on ESPN2 against the Houston Roughnecks. So that'll conclude this week's coverage of the XFL. Want to do a reminder, we are thinking about going live for about 30 minutes on Saturday before the games to do a little coverage. So if you watch these videos, drop a like, comment that you'll be there, share it to a friend, share it to your Facebook. We're gonna cover the games of the day the game of the day and Sunday. And then I want to get your takes on what you think so far of the XFL, what you've thought about it, all your insights and what you feel about the XFL. And we'll chit chat through the live stream on YouTube, and then that video will get posted, and you'll get your little minute of fame on my own video. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Andrew, and this is the Aflikshun Show covering the XFL. Signing out. Until next time. Thank you.